Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Eric Bird. Sylvia Norano will have a look at all the highlights later in the show. What can we expect, Sylvia?
We have a lot of news in sports. The SAIT Trojans basketball men's team had a great night. But we also have international news, sports sanctions against Russia in both Canada on multiple fronts.
I think we all knew that was coming, right? So, Drew Stremick is outside the newsroom to give us a quick look at what we can expect weather-wise here in Calgary. Drew, it looks pretty nice out there right now.
That's right, Eric. It's another beautiful day here in Calgary. We've already exceeded our expected high of 8 degrees. Back in 2021, we had a high of 10 degrees that day. Although the record high was set in 1905, where it was 16.7 degrees, and our record low was in 1919, a very chilly minus 36.1. I'll have our local weather and more later on in the show. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Drew. Now here's a look at today's top stories. It's starting to look closer to normal around here at SAIT. All classes returned to in-person learning yesterday, and today the provincial mask mandate was dropped along with the need to wear masks on campus. Even though masks are no longer required, some faculty and staff are choosing to keep them on. Megan Cobb has been following this story and joins us live from the Stangrad Center. Megan, what have you seen around campus?
Well, Eric, it's certainly been busier on campus than it has been the last few years, but the biggest difference might be all the full faces we can see.
For the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic began, SAIT classrooms are full of maskless faces, a change some teachers say makes their job easier.
When you can talk and see the reaction of people and redness in the face or the ease or relaxing and being able to see the entire face lets me know whether I should review a topic again or whether I should carry on to a new topic.
And some students feel it gives them an opportunity to better connect with their classmates.
All you can see is eyes and the upper facial expressions, but that can't tell you a lot on how somebody's feeling, or it's just nice to have social cues.
SAIT's mask mandate was dropped in response to the lifting of the provincial indoor mask mandate and lines up with a return to in-person learning, meaning a much busier campus than usual. Even though masks aren't required, it doesn't mean everyone is ready to show their face.
I'm kind of indifferent about it. I kind of feel like they're going to come back again, and so it's just a matter of time.
We have all got the vaccination and the boosters. That's what we were supposed to do, so let's just get living again.
I would still feel more comfortable if the mask mandate was still in motion.
I know a few people that are worried about not wearing masks still, so I'll keep in mind to wear a mask around them.
SAIT is handing out free masks and rapid test kits to make sure everyone can return to campus safely. Students and staff can pick up a box of 50 masks and 5 rapid tests every 2 weeks. As for what you do with the mask, it comes down to what you feel most comfortable with.
I cannot wear a mask if going to school, or I can if I choose to.
Most teachers are letting students determine their own comfort level in classrooms, but SAIT is encouraging people to continue wearing masks, especially when you can't social distance. Eric?
That was Megan Cobb from the Stangrad Center. Thanks, Megan. Alberta's Premier Jason Kenney marked the second reopening of the province during the COVID-19 pandemic on Tuesday. Capacity on all large venues and entertainment venues, indoor and outdoor social gatherings limits were lifted. Mandatory work from home requirements lifted as well, ending restrictions on liquor service and operating hours for bars and nightclubs. Masking requirements will remain in place in high-risk settings, including at provincial health sites, continuing care centers, and upon public transit. And anyone with COVID-19 symptoms or a positive test result must still isolate. Russian forces stepped up their nighttime attacks on crowded urban areas Tuesday, bombarding the central square in Ukraine's second biggest city and Kiev's main TV tower. Ukrainian authorities said 5 people were killed in the attack on the TV tower, which is a couple of miles from central Kiev and a short walk from numerous apartment buildings. At the same time, a 40-mile convoy of hundreds of Russian tanks and other vehicles advanced slowly on Kiev in what the West feared was a bid by Russian President Vladimir Putin to topple Ukraine's government and install a Kremlin-friendly regime. The Hospitality and Tourism Department here at SAIT is finally reopening its living classroom facilities after 2 years. Hospitality students haven't been able to have their hands-on. The Hospitality and Tourism Department here at SAIT is finally reopening its living classroom facilities after 2 years. Hospitality students haven't been able to have this hands-on real-world experience due to the onset of COVID-19 back in 2020. Melissa Nolasco has a look at how the preparations are coming along.
Hospitality and culinary students are preparing to welcome their guests for the opening of the Highwood this Thursday. SAIT's dining facilities are operated by students in the program to give them the hands-on experience they will face when they enter the real world. Unfortunately, these places have been closed to the public since March 2020. The students are very well prepared, but the lack of social interaction is one of the shortfalls they will have to catch up on when they reopen.
So while our students have been participating in labs, they haven't been able to have guests give feedback and try their products. So
The shutdown has also given the school a chance to redesign the John Ware building.
pandemic actually gave us a really great opportunity to rethink some of the spaces. So coming March 22nd, you'll see a very new space on the main floor of John Ware, which we're excited to share with our student community.
It might have been the first batch of students that have been affected by the pandemic and was shifted to an online curriculum, but this has become an opportunity for them to have more time to practice in the dining areas before they could open their doors and serve real guests.
Usually do a quick 2-day orientation before we open.
MacDonald has no worries about her students, and she believes they'll be able to provide guests a good experience at the Highwood.
I think everyone has a little bit of nervousness with the world reopening and, interacting with more people again. However, I think I have a really great batch of students with lots of personality.
Personality they're hoping to show off this Thursday. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Melissa Nolasco.
If you've been to the grocery store recently, you've probably been hit by sticker shock. Tommy Osborne has more.
When times are tough, cutbacks happen. But with the rising prices in grocery stores, making it harder for families to put food on the table, the strain leads to empty bellies. Nonprofit group Fresh Roots began back in October with a vision to bring fresh, affordable food to low-income areas.
As prices continue to rise, we may... 32% in January has put a lot of stress onto local producers who need energy to grow their product, but are
had many problems since starting. All the bugs that is attacking the crops. We lose a lot of crops like other farmers. So these are the reason the price is gone up. People has to know we have a lots of problem. We can't find workers because of the COVID.
As prices continue to rise, we may notice that what was once taken for granted becomes harder to buy. Canadian Blood Services is asking Calgarians to roll up their sleeves as COVID-19 takes its toll on the country's blood supply. Many people have been hit with the Omicron variant and have not been able to make their regular donations. As Stacey Hine reports, that's causing shortages in the supply of blood plasma and platelets.
To do, you save lives, and it makes you feel good.
And you have to feel good to give blood. COVID-19 is not transmissible through blood, but donors have to be virus-free for at least 14 days to give it. While 2 weeks is a relatively short waiting period, donations are now by appointment only, making it harder for people to find time for it. Many in-person recruitment and information events have also been canceled due to COVID.
So that really affected our reach out to the younger generation, to post-secondary. It's because we cannot be out there on your schools to be collecting and creating awareness on blood donation.
Every year, Calgary needs 10,000 donors to keep up with the growing demand. Donors say it's a way to give back to the community.
I think it's a really fun first date idea for people as you go give blood. There's nothing to be afraid of. Everyone is so friendly here and very welcoming, and you get free snacks after.
It is a need, and I got a rare blood type, so it's a good thing to donate.
Less than 7% of the total population is O negative. O negative is in high demand because it's the universal donor, and any blood type can be its recipient.
We obviously don't want to give people O negative unless we have to, so we want to be able to blood type them and give them like the blood transfusion that matches their blood type. and save that O-negative blood for emergency situations as best as we can.
1 in 7 people entering the hospital needs blood. Blood saves more than 4.5 million Canadian and American lives each year. Half of Canadians are able to donate blood, but only 1 in 81 actually do. For those looking to give a gift from the heart, you can schedule an appointment with Canadian Blood Services. For State Newsfile, I'm Stacey Hine.
March kicks off Fraud Prevention Month here in Alberta. This is the 18th year the campaign has occurred, where Calgary Police partners with organizations across Alberta to educate the public about fraud and common scams. This year's motto is "Friends don't let friends get scammed." To help educate Calgarians, the Calgary Public Library is hosting seminars on a variety of topics over the coming weeks. Mary O'Sullivan Anderson, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau in Southern Alberta, urges Calgarians to learn how to identify scams to not only protect themselves, but also the most vulnerable in the community.
By sharing information to be more informed about scams, you are all helping to protect the community, and most importantly, the vulnerable citizens from these reprehensible and illegal scams.
You can find the full schedule of the seminars being offered on the Calgary Public Library website. Traveling around Calgary's inner city used to be a walk in the park on a Saturday afternoon, but the past few weeks, protests and rallies against COVID-19 mandates have been taking over the central areas. As Rachel Weed reports, many people are finding these protests are causing more harm than good.
Mask mandates are out as of today, but that hasn't stopped thousands of people from gathering every Saturday for months in protest of the COVID-19 mandates and restrictions. Residents of the Beltline say the protests are making the inner city an unsafe environment.
They want their freedom and stuff, but I also think that there's a ton of other issues going on in the world right now that this might not need to be the focus at the moment.
Counter-protests have been set up just blocks away from the anti-mandate protests. Those people want the demonstrations to end so they can get the cars out of there and get their neighborhood back. Protest organizers say they have the right to gather and speak their opinions.
Here every Saturday, they're out here. It's just for freedom and to end mandates, no vax pass. I happen to be somebody that was fired from my job for this, and you know what, I think it's just something that everybody needs to stand up for their freedoms.
The City of Calgary has received more than 200 complaints from residents about the protest, but there's little City Council can do as it's a police matter.
Regular meetings with CPS and the City of Calgary will be held on a weekly basis to address these protests. For State Newsfile, I'm Rachel Weed.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break with Drew Stremick. But first, Kemi Murag has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
SAIT is welcoming and serenading everyone back on campus with live music during lunchtime. This event is organized by the Student Engagement and Learner Services and will run until March 4th. Come out for a night of laughs at the free comedy show in Inglewood. See upcoming and some of the best comics in the city. Doors open at 7 p.m. on Thursday. Time to soak in some creative juices and meet some of Alberta's promising and established artists and musicians. Listen to different music genres like jazz, classical, flamenco, and more, happening all day on Saturday. The annual Polar Plunge is back to support Special Olympics Alberta athletes. All funds raised will go towards helping more than 3,000 athletes across the province. Take the plunge this coming Saturday. The famous hip-hop K-pop trio is coming to Calgary. The group is known for chart-topping albums and being the first Korean artists to play in Coachella. Catch them in Mac Hall this Sunday.
Ooh, polar plunge. Not for me. But let's take a look across the weather. Over here on the west coast, we've got a low pressure system just off the west coast of Vancouver Island, and that's what's causing that precipitation in Vancouver. As you move further inland though, that rain is going to start turning into snow. Once you hit on the east side of the Rockies, it's a different story as there's a polar vortex of high pressure air coming in from the territories, and that's what's bringing in these lower than seasonal temperatures in the northern part of Alberta. It's pushing its way across Saskatchewan and Manitoba, making its way east, and eventually we'll be seeing similar temperatures out there. But for right now, we have a low pressure system coming up from the northeastern part of the United States, so that's why we have some good temperatures down in areas like Toronto. But as it gets pushed through, we're going to have that not as great weather looking out in St. John's and Halifax. Now let's take a look at where we'd rather be, the resorts. A great day to hit the links today in Palm Springs, where it's 32 degrees and sunny. Barbados is almost as hot, but the cloud cover cools it down to 28. Cancun, Honolulu, and Orlando are all partly cloudy and in the high 20s. And finally, it's a good day to be poolside in Vegas, where it's sunny and 26 degrees. Today in Calgary, we've already blown past our projected high of 8 degrees. It's still partly cloudy outside, which is very nice. A very light breeze at 8 kilometers per hour. And later on tonight, that's when we're going to start seeing those flurries as they move in, as that high pressure system pushes that low pressure system down into the states. Let's take a look across the province. So as I mentioned, we have that high pressure system coming down from the territories. That's why we're seeing lower temperatures in the northern part of the province. Right now in the Red Deer, Calgary, and Lethbridge area, that's where we're seeing that low pressure trough currently. And that's why we're seeing those above zero temperatures. But as that high pressure system pushes that low pressure trough down into the states, that's when we're going to start seeing that change, that precipitation and flurries that we can expect tomorrow and Thursday. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. Tonight, we're expecting those flurries and a low of -6. Tomorrow and Thursday, we've got highs of -5 and lows of -11 and 12. Friday, the flurries continue with a high of -6, and Saturday, it's -3. After the break, we'll have sports with Sylvia.
She's stronger. She's more confident. She's happier. Because of your compassion. Because of your support. Because of your care.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
SAIT Newsfile. Sylvia Naranjo joins us now for a look at the latest highlights. What can we expect, Sylvia?
Well, Eric, the Maple Leafs were able to hold on to a victory, and the Canucks were defeated. But let's see first what happened with the Trojans. The SAIT Trojans men's basketball team has been on a roll with a win over the St. Mary's Lightning last Saturday. SAIT has now won 9 straight, but there was a lot more to celebrate than just the win streak that night. Tommy Osborne has the details.
That's the sound of victory for your new #1 seeded Trojans. After a convincing 90-72 victory over the Lightning, SAIT has earned home court advantage for the playoffs as they prepare for another championship run. The 4-time defending champions had a close first half, as the Lightning kept the game tight with several runs. Everything changed in the second half, though. The Trojans pulled away in the third to earn a 16-point lead and eventually secure an 18-point victory. Head coach Marty Berkey credited the defense as the strength of the Trojans that allowed them to dominate not only in the second half, but the entire season.
We can be really impressive defensively. We can get after guys, we can make it difficult. And our defense leads to our offense. So if we got a little aggressive on the defensive end, we put in the pressure, got some steals, run outs, and it really changed the momentum of the game.
Forward Mater Malak had arguably his best game of the season, tying his season high with 20 points on 53% shooting. While he was certainly impressive individually, Malak says it's a team effort that allowed him to shine.
Credit to my teammates that found me on a couple possessions. I mean, it's a couple easy shots to start off with, but all credit to my teammates.
There was a lot of excitement on the court, but the biggest celebration may have been off the court, where the Trojans honored their veterans who will no longer be with the team next season. Guard Maeve Adami has been with the Trojans for several seasons, and he was a part of 3 championship teams during his career. While the championships were special, Adami says his favorite moments were the small ones.
It's all those little memories that I think about all the time, rather than that one memory that over my 5 years, it's all these small ones I keep thinking of, and it's something different every day with these guys.
It was definitely an exciting night for the Trojans, whether it's a 9-game win streak, securing the #1 seed,
or celebrating the seniors, there was a lot of good things to happen. But to them, their mission is just starting as they look to win their 5th straight championship. For St. Newsfile, I'm Tommy Osborne.
The Maple Leafs were able to hold on to a victory after blowing a 2-goal lead. It was a battle all night, but the Maple Leafs worked and grinded against the Capitals to create their opportunities and come away with their 3rd straight win. Sandin, John Tavares, Mitch Marner, and Justin Holl all finished with 2 points, as Washington lost their 6th straight game on home ice. The Toronto Maple Leafs were led by defenseman Justin Holl, 1 goal and 1 assist performance. Captain John Tavares had 2 assists in the game, and Peter Mrazek backstopped the Leafs with 30 saves. Tao Wilson had 2 goals for the Capitals, and John Carlson had 3 assists. And the Devils scored early and often in a rout of the Vancouver Canucks. Jack Hughes had a goal and an assist to win a showdown with his older brother, and the New Jersey Devils routed the Vancouver Canucks 7-2 on Monday night. Nico Daws made 36 saves, and the Devils scored 3 times in each of the first 2 periods, chasing goaltender Jaroslav Halak with 6 goals on 14 shots. The Devils had many different contributors in the win. Nico Hitcher and Dawson Mercer both had 2 points each, and Nico Daws stopped 36 shots faced. The Vancouver Canucks couldn't muster up any offense in the game. Tanner Pearson and Vasily Podsolkin each had a goal in the loss, and Thatcher Demko stopped 18 shots in relief of Jaroslav Halak. And the Raptors conquered the Nets in Brooklyn last night. Toronto 133-97. In one of the best all-around performances by a Raptor ever, Barnes had 28 points, 16 rebounds, 5 steals, and 4 assists for good measure. First-year Raptor Precious Achiuwa pulled down 8 rebounds, put up 20 points in the win. It was all much needed as the Raptors snapped a 2-game losing streak. The Raptors announced Monday that DJ Wilson has been signed to a 3rd 10-day contract. Raptors point guard Malachi Flynn had 18 points in the victory. The Brooklyn Nets were led by LaMarcus Aldridge, who had 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist in the loss Monday night. The Raptors are back in action tonight as they take on the Brooklyn Nets in the second half of the back-to-back in Toronto, 5:30 tip-off. And international sports sanctions against Russia involve Canada on multiple fronts. FIFA, the International Ice Hockey Federation, and the World Curling Federation were among the world sport bodies moving against Russia and Belarus, with Canada's domestic bodies following suit. The IIHF suspending Russia and Belarus from tournaments in every age category removes eternal contender Russia from the rescheduled Men's World Junior Championship in Alberta this summer. Canada's governing body of hockey says the National Hockey League condemns Russia's invasion of Ukraine and urges a peaceful resolution as quickly as possible. In addition, we are discontinuing any consideration of Russia as a location for any future competitions involving the NHL. And that's a look at sports.
Those Trojans just keep on winning. Have you been over to see a game yet, Sylvia?
Well, no, not yet, but I would like to, and I've seen that they are in a very good situation right now.
Yeah, they're a first-place team. After the break, Kemi Moraga will have a look at what's the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay with us.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
world is buzzing today after the music and film industries with new albums and awards released and given. Cami Moraga gives us the latest in the city and in Hollywood. Cami, what's going on?
Well, that's right, Eric. Today is an interesting day in the world of entertainment. Why don't we start it off right here in the city? Amy Bishop from CTV's The Launch has released her 7th solo album, Perfect and Broken. The songs in the album talk about the sexual abuse she suffered as a child growing up. The singer-songwriter will play the blues on March 24th. Sweet Caroline singer Neil Diamond has sold his song catalog to Universal Music Group. The deal was officially announced yesterday and includes more than 100 unreleased songs and albums and any future music Diamond will make. Diamond is one of the best-selling artists in the world, selling over 130 million albums. And just when everybody thought the hype is over, Squid Games is back, and it was quite recognized in the SAG Awards. Squid Games became the first non-English language series and first Korean title to win multiple awards, including Stunt Ensemble in a TV series. Lead actor Lee Jung-jae and actress Jung Ho-yeon both won in the categories of the male and female actor in a drama series. The series was also nominated for Ensemble Drama Series. Aquaman has showered hope for his fans after reports say he and Lisa Bonet moved back in together.
Ever since I was like 8 years old and I saw her on the TV, and I was like, Mommy, I want that one.
The couple announced their split in January, breaking the hearts of many, but a source close to the couple says they are very much back together. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet had been together since 2005 and got married in 2017 and have 2 children. And that's the latest in the world of entertainment. Back to you, Eric.
I can't believe Neil Diamond has 100 unreleased tracks out there. That's very cool. That was Cami Moraga from the newsroom. With ski season in full swing, the Canadian Ski Patrol are busy keeping the hills and its skiers safe. Christopher Blackburn reports on a typical day as a Canadian ski patroller.
Here at Hidden Valley Ski Resort, Canadian Ski Patrol are getting ready for the day and preparing the hill for the public.
The average day, it's we show up to the hill usually for around 8:30, get all our gear on, grab our radios. Then we get out on the snow. Depending on the day, we'll ride the lift before it's open once they've done all their safety checks. Head up, come down the runs, make sure the runs are clear. Once that's done, the hill will open and we'll ski around, just making sure everybody stays safe. He didn't walk with.
Canadian Ski Patrol have a lot of responsibility. One of the biggest responsibilities is knowing what to do in an emergency.
Once we get to the top of the hill, then we're opening up the shack that you're seeing behind me. And this is where we store the toboggans that we use for patient handling. Make sure we check those over, opening up the toboggan, make sure that the blankets are there, that it has the splints inside it, and check all the equipment.
If somebody is hurt, we got to make sure we have our skills to the best that they can be so we can help them get down the hill safely and get them to the care they need.
These are the volunteers that keep our ski hills and their community safe. For State Newsfile, I'm Christopher Blackburn.
Thanks for joining us today. From everyone here at State Newsfile, we'll see you next time.